Okay, let's talk about the functional test on the Chrysler CAN compliant vehicles. Now, Chrysler has been pretty uniform over the years. If you remember, way back in the late 80s, we had output controls, key on engine off, and then some key on engine running, where during key on engine off, you could fire the spark plugs every 2 seconds, kick a cooling fan on every 2 seconds, and pulse the injectors, etc. So they're still doing that, but because obviously it's a CAN compliant vehicle, they've enhanced it greatly. So I want to talk to you briefly about some of the functions you're going to be using in the future on these CAN compliant Chryslers. If you look at my menu right now, you can see cam crank relearn. If you replace a cam sensor or a crank sensor or a timing chain, or maybe you remove the cylinder head, you would need to reset the cam crank relearn procedures. Now that's actually initially a key on engine off function, and they're going to take you into key on engine running. EGR system test is pretty simple. That's key on engine running as well. Now, if you replace electronic throttle control on a Chrysler, you'll have to do an ETC relearn procedure. That's a key on engine off function as well. During key on engine off, if you want to do the electronic throttle control throttle follower test, that's key on engine off, and you follow the prompts on a scan tool as you slowly mash the gas pedal to the floor. The throttle plates will follow the APP sensors, and then let off the gas. And again, what you're doing, again, during key on engine off, you're just following the prompts on a scan tool. Now, the reason why that might be an important test for you is the fact that these 12-volt DC motors that operate the electronic throttle control would be more prone to act up with only 12 volts versus, let's say, 13.8 volts hot run voltage. So you're doing this sweep test with only battery voltage to the motor, which again, if you do the electronic throttle control follower test, you may be able to find a weak motor where the TPS values don't follow the APP as you slowly mash the gas pedal to the floor. The injector kill test, you can do that obviously key on engine off for a pressure drop, or key on engine running for an RPM drop as well. The O2 sensor heater test, that's key on engine off, and what you're basically going to be doing is ramping up the duty cycle of the PCM's command to the O2 sensor heater circuit, and you'll see a percentage value on your scan tool. Now again, that's key on engine off, and you will not get an amperage value for the current flow through the heating circuits, but you'll be watching your O2 voltage. When the heater circuit heats up and the O2 sensors start working, you'll see the signal voltage drop, obviously sensing atmospheric air inside the exhaust system. We also have a separate test now, which cylinder is misfiring, which is live misfire counters. You know, kind of use your imagination based on the symptom you have on a car. Maybe the cooling fan's not coming on, or maybe you think the EGR passengers might be plugged up. So you kind of pick and choose what output device you want to turn on. Now remember, some of them are key on engine off and some of them are key on engine running. So the scan tool will alert you to the fact that some of the tests are only key on engine off while others are key on engine running.